From November 2021 onwards, Russia has been amassing troops on its border with Ukraine. It was not very clear as to what was in the offing. President Putin has this dream of restoring the glamour and glory of the Soviet Union. That is very clear since he became president in 2000. So he has been making noises about the return of some of the Soviet republics back to the fold of Russia. And that, of course, there was a resistance. So the expectation or the fear was that he will use this opportunity to somehow take charge of Ukraine or conquer Ukraine and therefore force NATO not to admit Ukraine into its fold. So he kept saying that he will attack only if Ukraine joins NATO. That was very clear. But people did not believe him. They thought that he would still invade or attack Ukraine. In fact, in my view, there was no point in attacking Ukraine. Ukraine is not an enemy country as far as Russia is concerned. And the present president is very friendly to Russia also. So suddenly, last Monday, he found an escape route, having created this fear of war and a third world war and all that. He suddenly said that what he was going to do was to send the Soviet forces into two provinces, Donetsk and Luhansk, two provinces in Ukraine, who had already declared themselves independent, but nobody had recognized them. So Russia declared that they were recognizing these two republics as independent countries. And then he said he was going to send his troops not into Ukraine as a whole, but only to these two provinces, and that too as peacekeeping forces. So this has changed the complete situation. Even now, a mistake here or there can cause a conflict. But as of now, the agenda has changed. On the one hand, Ukraine's NATO membership is out of the question. They are not going to force it. So his principal objective is met. Second is he wanted to give some comfort to the Russian community in Ukraine, these two provinces. That he has accomplished. So he does not have any more reason for any battle. And the reaction from the NATO and the United States is only that they will impose sanctions. So he will see how many sanctions come and how much he will be in trouble. Depending on that, he will change his tactics. So he has already accomplished his mission. On the one hand, making sure that Ukraine does not become a NATO member. And on the other hand, giving the Russian people in Ukraine certain comfort. So what is the war for? So this kind of tension will remain for a while. And I don't think this will become a flare-up. And depending on the sanctions, the severity of the sanctions depend on the kind of lack of the difficulties that world as a whole will suffer because of this. As far as India is concerned, our biggest problem is the new alliance between Russia and China, which has been formed after the fear of war started, after they moved the troops. And President Putin went to Beijing on February 4th. And in that agreement, there are very strong words of support to each other. That is, Beijing will support Russia as far as Ukraine is concerned, whatever they do. And Russia will support China about Taiwan, whatever China will do. This is a very dangerous alliance that has been made, which will mean that one of our best friends, we are friends with Russia and also with the US, and then if one of our best friends become a friend of our enemy, that is going to be a huge problem for us. But because we are so dependent on Russia for defense supplies, we are close to them economically, we are investing in Vladivostok and other places, so we have a very close relationship. And how the challenge of the future is how we are going to manage this kind of a China-Russia alliance, probably joined by Iran and Pakistan. The Pakistan Prime Minister is just about to go to Moscow. So this has never happened. 25 years, no Prime Minister of Pakistan has gone to Russia. And therefore, these are new problems which have arisen out of this conflict, which will affect India. And so our challenge is how we manage the situation and how we will keep a relationship with the US and the relationship with Russia, and also get China to move out of our land. So these are the three challenges we have, and that has been aggravated as a result of the Ukraine crisis.